walked in the emergency room, Linda was behind a curtain, and there was a female nurse in there as they removed the stitches. And then the male nurse came in, or I'm sorry, the doctor, Alexander Jonathan Kirk, MD, Southlake, Texas Health, Harris Methodist Hospital. So the MD walks in, he looks at her thumb, and then he leaves, and then he takes some time off. I guess, I don't know, like 5-6 minutes or so. I was in the hallway, went back in, the female nurse was in there. My agreement was, as long as the female nurse, which is an older nurse, was in there, then I wouldn't need to go in. Well, I looked over where the curtain was, and they were in there taking the stitches out. Then I sat down, the female nurse left, and that, you know, that means they were completed. So I walked in and I said, hello, I am Linda's husband, and I'm Baptist. And we feel it's wrong for another man to be alone in a room with another man's wife. And then he said, well, I don't give a SHIT. And I said, well, listen, I find that type of language offensive. Then he got up, walked over to me, said, I'm going to trespass you. I said, okay, Linda, let's go. Because I was worried about Linda because he was acting irrational. Then he grabbed my shoulder, he pushed me this way. There was a glass partition right there. So he pushed me through there. There's also a cloth thing, and I went through there. And then I said, wait, hang on. Linda, we're leaving. And then he was, going there on, call the Southlake authorities. I'm going to have this man trespass. He didn't use the word authorities. I think he called them coppers or something like that. This guy's obviously a criminal. So I'm like, whoa, hang on. So then I walk out the door, and then I pick up Linda at a Home Depot because Linda had to leave. Cops came in. I think there was 3 cops that came in. Were there 3 cops, sweetie? They questioned Linda, and I guess, I don't know if they even spoke to the ER nurse. The ER nurse's name is MD. He's a medical doctor. His name is Kirk, or last name is Kirk, as in K-I-R-K. The first name is Alexander. I believe it's Alexander. The middle name is Jonathan. And the last name is Kirk, K-I-R-K. So I left. I thought Linda had sent me a message that she was at some place on Southlake Square. So I went to Southlake Square. I was looking for something that she said. She gave me a name of a place. I went all the way around. She said something about a veterinarian clinic. So I found this place that looked halfway like a veterinarian clinic. She had gone the other direction towards Home Depot and past this other veterinary clinic. So finally I got in the car, I drove to Home Depot, and then we just left. Because she had to use the restroom, went to Home Depot. So that's what happened. All right. To all actors, note to all actors. If you are an actor and you're out there doing theater and you're good at it, people are like, you're good at doing theater, you're singing. It's all song. See, Marlon Brando wrote songs my mother never taught me. Songs. Now, he wasn't the greatest at Guys and Dolls, but he could sing. But he wasn't like Frank Sinatra, but you're always singing. It's always a song. When he said, hey, Stella, he didn't just go, hey, Stella. He went, hey, Stella. He sang it. He was like, hey, Stella. It was like you could hear a little vibrato. If you really listen to it, he's grabbing his hands, he's going, hey, Stella. I don't know if Stella Adler taught him that. But it's like on the note, you know? They resonate. Their voice resonates. I think Bradley Cooper's teacher talked about this. I heard some of her classes. Her name was Kemp. She passed away. Bob Lavelle never spoke about this. Why did Marlon Brando write a biography saying songs my mother never taught me? because he was talking about singing. When he was on the interview with Larry King live, Larry King came to his house with the dogs and saw his dogs. They were singing song after song after. You got to sing. And if you sing badly, then sing badly. You could be in a Brecht play. Diaphragm, all that stuff, singing out, hitting the vibrato, you'll eventually learn it. Deaf people can sing. You can't be tone deaf. There's no such thing. Not if you can hear. And if you're an actor, you're a singer. There's just no way out of it. They all sing, 100% of them. Look at Adam Driver in Marriage Story. Better than most at singing when it comes to that last moment in the movie. You can do it. You have to wait because singing is about a moment. It'll always be about a moment. And if you sing and you sing and you sing and you sing and you sing, you have to rest and wait for the moment to come back and wait for you to be ready to sing. But your voice will learn it. Your body will learn it. It's there. The stage is designed to help you sing. And the moment will come and the song happens. So you will know when that moment happens. But don't dare say, oh, I'm an actor, I can't sing. I started off doing that a little bit. And Lois Sonia, she was my voice teacher at Wesleyan. And then I had a great voice teacher. I don't mention her name, but she was at the New School University, the Actor Studio Drama School. We worked on voice so much, throwing her voice, throwing her voice, throwing her voice. I did it so much underneath the building at 38 21st Street. There was a basement in there where I poured paint on that lady's clothes in the washing machine because I went a little nutty. That was my rehearsal space. So I did it so much in this hallway that the barber upstairs had come down through the side, kicked in the door, had a screwdriver in his hand, and with the screwdriver, he was like, I'm going to kill you if you don't shut up. And he was like frothing at the mouth. So I picked up a chair like a lion tamer and held it up and said, you realize what you're doing? And then I went back to where the elevator was. We had an elevator that went all the way down. It was a flat elevator. So it would go like the first floor, second floor, third floor. I lived on the third floor for a while. Fourth, and then the fifth floor, I lived on the fifth floor because I got in an argument with, on the third floor, I got in an argument with, Chris got mad at me for wearing his leather coat because I locked myself out of my room, took a shower, and couldn't get back in. So I put on his leather coat, knocked on his door. He opened it, saw me in his leather coat, and was like, get out of my coat, and started yelling at me. Like, ah! That kind of thing. I said, okay. I just don't want to take my coat off because I'll be completely naked. Can you wait until they let me into my room? I'm locked myself out. I don't even think I had a towel. I didn't take a towel with me to the actor studio. I had to get that towel. I never got a towel. What did I dry myself off? I think I'd stood there in the shower. I must have had a towel. Well, I didn't have a towel at that moment. I must have went in there and took a shower without the towel. I eventually got a towel. I had to get a towel. I probably bought a towel at a Walmart. But the thing is that Chris got mad, but that wasn't the reason why. Peter from Amsterdam, he was the Wall Street guy. He was kind of funny. He called me an acular, which is like an actor. And Peter loved jam. And I would go into the refrigerator and eat some of their jam. I was 157 pounds. So I would go and get sugar. So I'd go in the refrigerator and I'd get, there's jelly. And I would eat some of the jelly. And Peter, one time I heard him from my room. I was sitting there reading Sam Shepard stuff. And I heard Peter go, where's the jam? Who ate my jam? And I was like, I'm going to get in trouble for this. And I heard Chris say something, I don't know. David lived next door. David was a lighting designer. He would come and go, and we would never see him or hear him. I think he brought a woman back there one time, and it was kind of quiet. And then it was like, that was the only time we ever talked to him. We made turkey during Thanksgiving. We had this big turkey. So we had like a Thanksgiving, and I think Chris was into Alexander. He graduated.
And Lipton said that Chris was brilliant. He told me that. When I mentioned him, he was one of my roommates, and he said Chris is brilliant. And I said, yeah, he's pretty good. I saw him perform at Sandy Meisner, the neighborhood playhouse. He did The Death of an Anarchist. And it was underdone. It was underdone, which I think Meisner, sometimes they get that way. It was a very strange performance. It wasn't too dead, but it was underplayed. It might have looked better on film. But it's hard. Theater, you have to project it. Some can handle the theater, and then some just read as kind of dead. But you get the camera up close, and they're great. It's because their voice has to resonate. They teach that in New York City as opposed to LA. You know, those LA actors get out there and it's a nightmare. They got to get on the piano. They got to sing, and get their voice thrown out there so the audience can feel their voice. The particles of their voice will leave their soul and enter into the audience. Just like Baptiste, when he was working with all of them, I don't know if he worked with Marcel Marceau, but felt that you could move the air through time and space and affect the audience by moving your hand, just like Bela Lugosi kind of could, right, on film. On stage, you can move the particles through time and space with your voice and with your hand. My voice teacher at the New School talked about that at Actor Studio Drama School. But it's about singing. You have to learn to keep on doing that, even if it's a little bit. And if you go, okay, that sounded a little bit okay, then good. Daniel Johnston wasn't always on key, but he did sing, and he did have songs, and he did do well. So do what you can, but attempt to sing. Actor Studio, when I was there, the real one, not Actor Studio Drama School, I was there, but the real Actor Studio right next to Birdland, they were singing nonstop. We go in there and it'd be another musical rehearsal. There's this black lady over here singing from the piano. We got this guy over here singing. And this black lady's like, her voice is just like carrying, you know, like moving you, you know, like literally moving you in your chair. And it's just filling the entire studio. Now, it was a little drab because they rehearse. They don't perform at the Actor Studio that much. They will bring in a play there every once in a while. Edward Albee worked with them. But you go in there and like, what in the world is this? It's not there for always entertainment. It's there for constructing and experimental so that the entertainment can grow. It's an experimental place for Broadway musical theater actors to come in and do Chekhov and find some kind of voice in the American theater. But it's also there to sing and to learn to be in a musical, but also to learn the reality of the musical and to learn the reality of the situation. That's what they told me. That's what Ellen Burstyn said, and I think that's what Estelle Parsons said, that it's an experimental place for musical theater actors to come in and learn the craft of realistic acting like Chekhov, Ibsen, maybe bring in some Sam Shepard, Edward Albee, say probably Mamet, and a bunch of others so that they can start learning what to listen and to respond. So I go back to singing. You have to stay singing. Don't stop singing. Because if you get up on that stage, that singing is going to carry that character for that moment. It's going to carry that character into the play because we can tell that the actor rehearsed it. And throwing the voice and stuff. But you can get in trouble. The barber guy tried to he had this shut up! You know, he had the wrench. I guess it wasn't a wrench. It was like a screwdriver. He told me if I didn't shut up, he was going to kill me. So I had to get a chair to defend myself. Later, I'd kind of in a way shoot myself in the foot by pouring paint in the washing machine. I got out and had to go back home and start writing. But I know so many good stage actors, so many talented personal friends that are musical theater actors, and I love to see them in musicals. They're the best, for sure. Now, film. So Strasberg did not invent the actor studio only for film, but he invented the actor studio also for musical theater and for Shakespeare and for all different style, but mostly for realism. I guess I'm kind of getting stumped, but the musical theater aspect doesn't mean it doesn't have to be real. It can still be real, even the singing. And they explored singing. Even you have the musical theater actor that can sing and still be real and reach you. But I believe in those particles that can come from the soul and can go move across the room and touch the audience physically. And I believe you can move the air through time and space and touch the actor, the other actors, and touch the audience without even really touching them. I believe you can do that. And I believe you can do it with your voice, and I believe you can do it with your physicality. But whatever you do, don't lose it and push someone for real and hurt someone for real. Learn stage combat. Learn to be in control of what you are and what you do in life and on stage. It's happened so many times. Brando would hit people. People would get upset and they would attack. But it goes both ways. So learn kindness and respect, especially when we're in a 6-foot world where you keep your 6-foot distance. You know, I believe that. And wear a mask too if you can. And I don't know how they're rehearsing, but they certainly will. God bless. Okay. So go ahead and read it. And I know you have it. No, it's not my job. It's your devotional. This is your daily. It's daily word.
Let me touch your phone.
Women. It is your job to read that. I can read it with you if you have a problem with the word. Okay.
Hold my hand real quick.
All right, I'm holding your hand. This the whole hand? Is that the other one? That's the other one. This is the good hand, right? The good hand right here. Okay, is it okay? Okay.
Kim is in.
Let me see what chapter you're on. This says credited. It's Romans. The words, it was credited to him, were written not for him alone, but also for us, to whom God will credit righteousness. For us who believe in him who raised Jesus our Lord from the dead. He was delivered over to death for our sins and was raised to life for our justifications. Have you ever read a book that felt like it was written just for you? Perhaps it was grand fiction tale with such vivid characters that you can see yourself in one of them. Maybe it was a memoir written by a person whose experience is so familiar it could be your own. Paul is telling us that something that was written long ago about Abraham's life was not just for him. It was written for you. You can put yourself into this story. The abundant credit of righteousness that Abraham received as a result of his faith is for you too. If you have confessed Christ as Lord and believe in his resurrection and your subsequent justification, then the righteousness of God is yours. It covers you. When God looks at you, he sees the righteousness of Christ. No longer does he see a sinful woman. The payment has been made, and your debt is credited in full. The balance doesn't just rest at zero. You are given infinitely more because his righteousness is that rich. Praise God that we find ourselves in such a story. Now, how can you express joy over the credit you have received? And there's something else here for April 10th, which says, I am convinced that nothing can ever separate us from God's love, neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither our fears for today nor worries about tomorrow, not even the powers of hell can separate us from God's love. Romans 8:38-39 NLT, no sword, no fire, no stone. Paul stands convinced he had processed everything and decided that this is his final stance. The whole book of Romans reads like a letter of persuasive evidence. And these verses are the conclusive truth that Paul wants his readers to remember. There is nothing that can pull or push us away or block us from God's love. His love for us is more powerful than the death, longer lasting than life. No creature in heaven or hell can convince God to take another course of action or to abandon his love toward us. No fear you conjure will thwart him. God's love is for you, end of story. Many of us have been rejected or abandoned at some point in our lives. It could have been by parents, friends, or a partner. Though humans will unfortunately reject and hurt one another frequently, God never will. It's an absolute truth that you can bet on. In prayer, let us ask God to convince our wounded hearts that his love for us is unending, as much as Paul is convinced here. Question: what feels like it is separating you from God? What truth can you apply to that lie today? Don't let the world lie to you. Here you go, Sniggles. God is always with you for all of time. And Kitty. He loves y'all both. Did you know God can enter into an animal? The donkey story in the Bible. He spoke through an ass to talk to the people. The reason why is because God can do anything. He can work through animals, people, and he can help them understand what it is they need to understand. That his love is for real. All right, sweetie? That's right. Now let's see your thumb. Show the thumb. Your thumb, sweetie. Show your right thumb. Sweetie. Let's see the injury. Show the thumb. Let's see. Let's show everyone now that the stitches are out. We're gonna have to keep some antibiotic on it. 7 stitches, paring knife. Subway. Kitty, stop being mean.
I don't
Okay.
understand why he's doing it.
Because he loves. He's just full of love.
No, his claw is stuck.
He always gets that dang claw. Out, stop biting. There he goes.
He needs a better scratch.
He's free now. Claws are free. You're better. Everything's okay.